Hello. What we have here is we have a cigarette experiment that I've been working on. Essentially, what we've created here is a water bong. This water bong is built with a jar. It has 1 cup of water in it. It has an intake tube that goes down into the water, and at the lid coming out is an air outtake. So essentially what's going to happen is, as suction is created by a vacuum in this tube, the cigarette will be placed here. The smoke from the cigarette will come down here and water will bubble. I will go ahead and give a demonstration before I do this with a cigarette. The objective is we're going to run 20 cigarettes through this water and see what happens to the water. My hypothesis is, because of all of the tar, nicotine, and other junk that is put in cigarettes during manufacturing, a lot of that stuff will get filtered out by the water, caught in the water, and the water will turn brown to dark brown, maybe even black. The purpose is to demonstrate what actually gets caught inside a person's lungs as they smoke through 1 pack of cigarettes, let alone a pack-a-day smoker. I'm going to go ahead and run a quick demonstration. Before I run the cigarette in, okay, that was the quick demonstration. You saw how the bubbles reacted. So I'm going to go ahead and put this cigarette in. Okay. Note that the cigarette cherry is extremely long right now. That's because, unlike most smokers, we're not giving it a break to burn down or burn out all the way, where it's a continuous suck. In the short-term effect that you see right now, it's going to make that cherry real long. The long-term effect in a real-life situation is that's not going to matter at all, as not that much, or as a cigarette person typically doesn't smoke or doesn't not smoke in short breaks. Most of the cigarette does indeed get inhaled. Okay, that's cigarette number 1. There's a lot of smoke still trapped inside the jar that has gone through the water. Even though that it's been filtered through the water, it is important to note that it is still not safe. That air, that smoke, it's not safe smoke. It's still got a content of tar and nicotine in it. So we're going to go ahead and pull another one. Okay, this is amazing. Though the cigarette is not, although the water is not turning as dark as I had thought it would, you can see some build up inside the water here. If you get really close, you can see some build up in the water. Okay, and not only that, but over here where my hand was, you can see start to see the darkening, yellowing of the pipe where the vacuum is created. And on my finger where I've been holding the hose, you can see tar building up on my finger. It's kind of disgusting, really.
Oh man, I'm gonna stop smoking.
Go ahead and burn cigarette number 3. Start to see that hose is really turning yellow too. Okay, so we had a little bit of problem with the other video camera. We're switching video cameras now. This video camera I have a little bit more problems with, so forgive if there's some quality issues. What we do have is we burned through a lot of our cigarettes. We have 12 left, so 12, we went through 8 of them. 8 through there. You can see that's really starting to yellow up. You can see things, crap starting to float on the top there. You can see the yellowing here. And we have this is getting a lot more yellow here. My cameraman will come around and he'll walk up close to the tubes. You can see how the tubes are. You can see the water down here, how it's really icky. We can come around here. Come around here to the tube. You can see it's really starting to get, and this is after it's been filtered through the water. We're still getting all this nasty crap. So we're going to come back around. We're going to put another cigarette in. We're going to light it up. The show must go on. And for those of you who are wondering, no, this is not my wife's vacuum. This is our old vacuum that broke. It's just that the sucker still works. Alright, so next cigarette we have 2, 4, 6, 8 cigarettes left. We've burned through 12. I'm starting to see it's an unexpected result of this experiment. I expected the water to get tan, but I expected it to be a lot darker than this. But what I am seeing in here is, again, I keep mentioning these chunks, but I'm seeing the tar actually bind up. It reminds me of that experiment done in outer space with sugar, where the sugar molecules, were attracted to each other by their own specific gravity. This, I'm seeing. I don't know if that's the exact effect that's happening here, but the tar is clumping together and making small chunks inside this water. It's an unexpected development in my experiment. Maybe someone out there can explain that away. I sure can't right now. I have to do a little bit of research on it. Amazing how some of these cigarettes are burning. Long on one side, and the paper stays. How the paper stays good on one side, but it burns completely out on the other. It's kind of weird how cigarettes do that. We'll go ahead and, I don't know if you'll be able to see this real well with the camera, but we can take a look down inside this tube. And it has been caked with the tar from the fire. Cleaning that is going to be, I'm not actually ever going to be able to truly clean this out, but I will, after this, go ahead and wipe it down as good as I can from here and document what I take out of there. Last cigarette. Oh, and I made the mistake, for all you smokers out there, I didn't make it a lucky. So this experiment didn't go nearly as according to plan. I figured by now that water would be a dark, ugly color. I'm seeing more buildup on the jar and the hoses. This hose has really gone almost black. There's some real black spots there. We can look at this as the esophagus. And when you inhale the cigarette, it's got to go down your throat before it gets into your lungs. The jar, represents the lung. This represents the esophagus on the way out. Or, it's really nasty. Alright, so what we have is this jar. That's, like I said, this represents what your lungs maintain. The hose, you can't see real well from here. I'll get my camera guy to step backward here a minute. Right, A little more right there. Now you can see how that hose, because the hose is in the shade, you can see how it really is. It's a lot darker than the water. The hose coming out, kind of the same thing. I did predict that water would be a lot darker. If anybody can come up with an idea on how I can better this experiment, or if they think this is an accurate depiction about how of what is actually caught in the lungs, I'm open for suggestions. I would like to get this to be as accurate as possible with as little dispute as possible. Please let me know what you think, what I can do better, what I can change, alter to make this more accurate. The crap buildup on the side there. This is definitely a lot of data to look at. One thing I don't have is a way to accurately measure lumens. One thing I do want to do in the future, when I repeat this experiment, is measure the lumens that pass through water beforehand and measure the lumens that pass through the water after this. If anybody has an idea of how I can come up or knows of any way to accurately measure lumens inexpensively, I'll be up for that. So, alright, this concludes the experiment. Today's date is June 12th, 2016. The time is 2011 hours.